What's up guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to build your own player instructions, and that's coming up today in this video in FUT School. What's up guys, it's your boy Don here and welcome back to part 2 of this mini series that I've started, basically how to build your own custom tactics. This is going to be following on from our previous video, so before you watch this video, go and watch how to build your own custom tactics. Once you've watched that, come back here and you'll understand exactly what we're talking about in this video. But if it is your first time here, don't forget to drop a like on this video and also subscribe if you are enjoying the content, and don't forget to put the bell on so you know exactly when this video does go live. And as well, a bit of a side note, I do live stream on Twitch, so make sure you come check me out on Twitch. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so just a bit of a short recap on the previous video. We have already built the custom tactics for the 4-2-3-1. Pressure on heavy touch, 5 width, 4 depth, of offensive style, width is 5, players in the box is 5, and corners and free kicks is on 1. All right, so we're going to build the player instructions. I'm going to show you why you need to build these specific player instructions and why it's so important that you put the player instructions that supports your tactics, because what you do not want to do is have your player instructions cancel out the tactics that you've already built together. Okay, because it doesn't really affect our custom tactics, but I'll show you what the best player instructions is for your goalkeeper. All right, so with your goalkeeper, first thing I would advise you to do is come for crosses and sweeper keeper. The reason why you want to come for crosses is because for corners especially, or when your player is not many corners, not many people are crossing the ball in, but your goalkeeper will not stay on his line. Ideally in football, your goalkeeper, if the ball is in the air, your goalkeeper should try and attack the ball and get the ball, so they're going to come off their line more often. All right, sweeper keeper, again, same thing, they're just going to come off their line. If your defensive line has been beaten and it's one-on-one with the goalkeeper, the AI will rush out and try and win the ball, especially if your goalkeeper has got a bit of speed. I will say be cautious, because if you have a goalkeeper that's not very fast, then sweeper keeper won't be as effective. He'll still come off his line, but depending on how quickly he comes off his line depends on his speed and reactions at the same time. Fullbacks. Now, in the 4-2-3-1, in any formation, right, I wouldn't advise you to put your fullbacks on get forward or trying to help the attack just yet. Some people do it because they're playing in a very narrow formation, so they need a bit more width. So they want their fullbacks and they keep them on balance. Or some people, when you're losing, for example, and you want some more support, the attack needs a little bit more support, then you bring your defenders up. But for this scenario, just to give yourself a cover, to give yourself a bit of balance, and to really help out your defense and to stop your opponent from going down the wing, stay back while attacking on both your fullbacks. What I would advise you as well is, just if you do go down that route, make sure you do overlap rather than invert. So you have two options. You have inverted, sorry, 3 options: inverted, mixed attack, and overlap. My experience in terms of what I've done, the overlapping run, and I've seen it in real life, and I've played fullback in real life as well. Overlapping runs is more effective. Just again, it gives more width. It stretches your opponent's defense, and that's what you want to do. When you stretch your opponent's defense, it opens up gaps for your players to run in behind. So do overlap on both your fullbacks. Leave your center mids on as they are. Even when you're attacking, very, very rarely in FIFA do you ever tell your fullbacks to play as a striker or to join the attack. It happens, but very, very rarely do you do that. Only time you will do that is if you're like, you know what, I gotta get everybody going forward. Everyone has to go forward. Everyone has to join the attack. Now, there is a feature that says player striking. It says go up in front in the last minutes of the match if losing. Again, it's something that I haven't really tested, but it's something I would like to present to you to consider, because of the fact that it's something that the AI does. Now, for me, I wouldn't trust the AI, because there are times I play with Sergio Ramos in the centre back, and there are times he's making darting runs in the box and I haven't even told him to. So I would keep both my fullbacks on stay back while attack. Centre defensive mids. Now, this is where we're going to start talking about your custom tactics. Some people have your centre defensive mids on stay back, some people have them on bombing forwards. If you have just started playing FUT Champions and you have your defensive width, which is your depth, on 4, and your width is on 5, I would strongly advise you, if you have a 100k team as well, to have cut passing lanes. So let's go one by one. Defensive behaviour, you have cut passing lanes, balanced attack, balanced defense, and man mark. Now, if your opponent has a lot of players running into the box, maybe 3 or 4, man mark wouldn't be very, very good, because your CDM will be following that person, and it leaves too many gaps between your midfield and your defense as well. Balance is pretty good, especially if you want your player to stay in their position, or if you want your centre defensive mid to go up with the attack. Balance is something very, very good, especially if your centre defensive mid is a medium high work rate. Then having them on balance really helps you. And you have cut passing lanes. So basically what it means, what cut passing lane means is your midfielder will try, and the AI will keep your midfielder in a position where they will try and get in between the person passing the ball and the person receiving the ball. All right, and that is a passing lane. So wherever the ball travels to and from their teammate, that is a passing lane. So Sal, for example, will stand in the middle of those two, like Pig in the middle, and will try and cut the passing lane. That's their type of defensive behavior, and that is pretty much FIFA. That is pretty much all of FIFA when you're defending, trying to cut the passing lanes. I do have a video on my channel, and I will link that in the description if you want to check that out, on how to cut passing lanes. And I've done a video on my channel, so go definitely check it out. As I said, leave the link to that in the description. I would say for your CDM, if you have a centre defensive mid who's very, very defensive, cut passing lanes and stay back while attacking. I will not tell them to get forward, because you're in the 4-2-3-1. You have support going forwards already, so you don't need them to get forward. You have another defensive defensive instruction, which is new to FIFA 20, which is it says a neutral behavior where your players maintain their shape. Now what that means is pretty much, well, your CDM will act as a centre back. If you want to sacrifice some of the space in the midfield and you want that extra support in the defense, then you can tell your CDM to drop in between your back 4. Again, it's very, very good because it gives your defense a little bit of support, especially if you're someone who likes to rush out your centre backs. But at the same time, it does leave you quite susceptible to a counter attack, and it allows your opponent to have more of the ball. Interceptions is really important in regarding how you want your AI. All of this is pretty much your AI. I always leave my normal interception. I leave my interceptions on normal, and the reason being is because that I want to be in charge of how I intercept the ball, and the AI to help me when I'm trying to control other players at the same time. Now, for example, if you have a CDM who doesn't have very good stamina, do not put them on aggressive interceptions, because they will look to intercept everything. All right, and it drains the stamina. Conserving interceptions is pretty good, but I wouldn't use it for a CDM, because you want them to, the AI will only kick. And basically what it means, conservative means you're on your own. You have to manually intercept everything. The AI will not help you. They'll help you to very minimally, if that makes sense. It will only help if they can clearly win the ball, and it conserves your stamina. So if you have a CDM who doesn't have very good stamina, conserving interceptions is good, but I would say leave it on normal interceptions. So you have two options here: cover wings and cover center. All right, cover wings, it means that your CDM, if cover hull has gone up, for example, your right back has gone up the pitch, then and you get hit on a counter attack, Sal will basically drop into that position. I've seen it. It's very, very good, to be honest with you. If you're actually playing in a narrow formation like 4-1-2-1-2, your CDM will drop into that position as a right back. All right, but at the moment you have Carvajal staying back, so you don't really need him to. You just want to protect that middle, which is pretty much where all the attack is going to go. So cover center. Now this is where it gets very, very important in regarding your custom tactics. Now you have your custom tactics on pressure on heavy touch. One thing you do not want to do is put in a defensive tactic which cancels that out. You have defensive support, you have basic support, you have comeback on defense, and you have stay forward. So they will not go. So when they stay forward, they will not come back and help out the defense. There will be some defensive support, and they will always defend. All right. Now, when you have pressure on heavy touch, it is a very defensive tactic, but it's something where you want to press the ball in your opponent's half. You do not want to have comeback on defense, because what the mentality is, how this is going to cancel out the pressure on heavy touch, is that, for example, you lose the ball and you have your players on comeback on defense. So as soon as you lose the ball, you got one side of the AI saying you got to press it, and you got another side of the AI saying no, come back on defense. So which one is it? So they're both cancelling each other out. So if you want to have comeback on defense, then what you will need to do is go back to balance, all right, where the press happens in the midfield. So basically, you put it on balance, come back on defense, your midfield will drop back into their position. They'll press the ball in the midfield if they can. The AI will kick in and try to press the ball in the midfield, or you can at the same time. But you're telling the AI to come back on defense with your midfielders. But because I've specifically put this on pressure on heavy touch, leave this on basic defensive support. So they'll come back to support the defense when needed. Okay, so what they'll do now is you'll press on heavy touch. If that doesn't work and your teammate and your opponent, sorry, is still attacking, then they'll drop back into their position accordingly. Support on crosses. Okay, now as I said, not many people cross the ball, so maybe that the title is a bit misleading. It says it's basically you have 3 options: get into the box for the cross, where it says make runs into the penalty area in crossing situations. Balance crossing runs, so run into the penalty area or stay on the edge in crossing situations, and stay on the edge of the box, which is stay on the edge of the penalty area in crossing situations. So basically, if Odegaard, who we've highlighted on our screen, is running into the box, Messi and Fekir will get into the box as well to create attacking option for a chance to score. All right, or if you want to have stay on the edge of the box, they'll stay on the outside, and you only have Hazard to hit. Because now our players in the box, we have set it to 5, so therefore Hazard and your CDM is going to get into the box, and possibly your cam will get into the box as well. So one thing you do not want to do, because you have it on 5, you do not want to have stay on the edge of the box, because again, as I said before, it's going to cancel out your custom tactic. It's going to cancel out your players in the box. All right, so what I would advise you to do is get in the box for the cross. So when you're attacking, you have Fekir, you have Messi, and Hazard all getting into the box, so you have a support. So don't worry if you lose the ball, because you have Toni Kroos staying back, and your 2 CDM staying back, and you've got enough support in defense as well. So we're going to put all our cams, just for this example, we're going to put all our cams on get in the box for the cross. Now you have this something called positioning freedom. All right, free roam takes a free roam in attacking third. Stick to their position, so Odegaard will stay right cam, Messi will stay as a cam, left attacking mid it will be Fekir, and you have drift wide, so they'll make runs in wide areas of the pitch. We have put our attacking offensive style, their width, on 5. Okay, so we have enough width as well, and get in the box for the cross does create some width at the same time. Drifting wide, if you leave it on drift wide, it gives you options wide, but at the same time it gives you very limited passing options in the middle of the pitch. The problem with free roam, and I wouldn't advise you to put it in your middle cam or your left or right cam, is the fact that if you want to, say for example, you've got the ball with Carvajal and you're looking for an option, you don't want to pass to Van Dijk, you want to pass forward, you've got Saul, but Odegaard, because he's on free roam, he's playing next to Messi, or he's gone over to the other side of the pitch, because that's where you were defending previously. So Odegaard doesn't have someone to hit. Now he's only got Hazard, which is too far away from him. All right, so free roam at the moment can be good because it gives you a lot of creativity as well. But at the same time, when you have a player to try and pass to, they're on the other side of the pitch. So leave it on, stick to position. And now we move over to Hazard. Hazard now has something different in regarding supporting runs. Okay, as opposed to our cams, because our cam support on crosses, it was getting the box for the cross. Hazard, our one striker, is drift wide, balance width, which is cut wide or cut inside depending on situation, or stay central. Now I'm quite in favor of both of them. I wouldn't say drift wide because he's there by himself, and you want to try and aim for the middle of the pitch, because that's where your best scoring opportunity comes. You have balance width, so they'll either stay wide or they'll try cut inside, or you got to stay central. Now, if you are very good at triggering runs and making players come to you, then you can leave on balance width. But the problem is that when you're playing very fast and you have an attacking situation where your opponent's defense is open in the middle, but Hazard is drifting wide on that occasion and not cutting inside, you're going to have a problem. Again, staying central does leave you a bit toothless, because you've got no creativity on the wings, but then you've got your wingers, you've got Fekir, you've got Odegaard, you've got your 2 left and right cams to try and make runs in the wide position, so you don't really need that help in the wide position at the moment because you have someone there. Leave your striker on stay central, because again it gives you an outlet and gives someone to hit when you do win the ball back. Here you have getting behind, which is very popular in FIFA. Make runs in behind the defense, make runs in behind the defense. Drop in the midfield to create attacking space for teammates. target man, which is backs into the opponent, arcs the ball to the feet, and you have mixed attack, which is a little bit of everything, okay? Depending on the situation, depending on the player that you have. Now, this all depends on the type of player that you have. If you're the type of person that you have a CDM like a Diego Costa, a Harry Kane, for example, they are not very fast. They're fast, but they're not very, very fast strikers due to their body type. So using getting behind, it will again it leaves you a little bit pointless because of the fact that they're not very fast. Again, if you have getting behind at the same time, if you get the ball with Messi and you're playing against someone who's parking the bus on you, and for example Hazard is already running behind, he's trying to get in behind the defense, you have no one else to hit other than your two wide cams. And again, the middle of the pitch is so important. If you want to, remember, we are on pressure on heavy touch. All right, we're on pressure and heavy touch. So Hazard is going to be the first one of the furthest players forward to try and press the ball when they lose it. So if Hazard loses the ball and the centre back, your opponent's centre back has got it, Hazard will be one of the first persons to try and attack trying to win the ball back. So you have come back on defense, balance, basic defensive support, and stay forward. So Hazard is not going to come back. When you think about basic defensive support, he will drop into a space to receive it, so it's about his positioning when he doesn't have the ball, which I would strongly advise you to keep it on, especially if you're using pressure on heavy touch. But for this example, I will have Hazard on stay forward because you want an outlet. This is, even though it says defensive support, don't always think that, okay, they're only talking about the defense. You've got players in behind that can help out the defense when needed. Hazard, it can be an outlet, or your striker, can be your outlet. So leave them on stay forwards. Those are your player instructions. I've gone through each player instruction for each position. All right, just do a quick recap. We've got our striker on stay central, stay forward. We've got all our cams on getting on the box for the cross. If you do want them to come back, if you're not very good defensively and you just want that a little bit more of assurance and you want them to come back on defense, then lock in, come back on defense, but go over to defensive style and put it on balance. If you're not very good at pressing the ball, don't go drop back, because obviously your AI won't help you, and if you're not very good at pressing the ball, then you're going to find it very difficult to get the ball back in the drop back. I do have a video on how to defend better in FIFA, so you can I'll put that in the description down below. Go and check that out, and I can show you basically some technical and tactical skills that you can learn to get to be a better defender. So if you want them to come back on defense, then you can, but leave it on balance for now. But if not, pressure on heavy touch. Our two CDMs, cut passing lane, stay back while attacking. They'll just sit outside the box because our defensive depth is on 4. Your two CDMs will sit outside the box. So if you do lose the ball, they can recycle the play and start the attack again. And as well, our defensive line will be sitting, when we do lose the ball, they will be sitting just outside the halfway line, but will drop into this position. They won't go, when they do lose the ball and your opponent is in your half, they will sit exactly in this position here, as you can see on the screen. And our goalkeeper is on comfort crosses and sweeper keeper. So there you have it. Our 2-part series has come to a conclusion. We do have these, so if you want to use these custom tactics, you can, but I've gone through just for an example what I would build if I had a complete 100k team, and if I'm very, very new to FIFA, new to playing FUT Champions, new to playing Div Rivals, this will be your starting point. All right, this is where you will start your custom tactics, and then over a period of time, as your team improves or as you improve, then you adjust your custom tactics and your player instructions accordingly that suits your play style. Never stick to one custom tactic throughout the whole of FIFA. Always chop and change, because your team changes, the game changes, and you improve and you change as well. So your player instructions, your custom tactics must reflect that at the same time. So as you progress, your custom tactics have to do so as well. So there you have it, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this video, boys and girls, on how to build your own custom tactics. Let me know in the comment section down below if there's anything I've missed out, any support that you need, anything at all. Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think of these custom tactics? Do you think they're for beginners? Do you think they're more too advanced? Let me know in the comment section down below. Come check me out on Twitch as well. That's why I like to hang out most of my time. And as well, if you have enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe, put the bell on so you know exactly when my videos do go live. And if you have enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like, and I'll see you at the next upload. Peace.